hope everyone can see my screen. Can you just drop a chat? Thumbs up in the chat. Yeah. Thank you so much for joining us today at the webinar where we're going to understand, find out how you can become and pass CFE exam in 4 weeks. And it's going to be an informative webinar where we're going to make you understand the way of passing an exam at ACFE, how Netrika can help you, what are things which are changed in 2021, and a few things which are now changing post June as well. We're going to talk about that as well. Along with me, I have got two authorized trainers, ACFE authorized trainers who are authorized trainers in India to teach you CFE course. Moving ahead, we will be covering, I'll just take you through the agenda, what all we will be covering today. So we'll be covering today's webinar that how to become a CFE in 4 days or 4 weeks. So you have options to enroll for sessions in 4 days or 4 weeks, and how our ACFE authorized trainers will prepare you for the CFE examination basically through sessions with Netrika. And you also going to learn about major changes in CFE 2021 editions. In case anyone out here knows about the course curriculum, they have gone through the 2020 edition. You're going to learn here that what curriculum and syllabus has been changed in year 2021. We're going to be taking that as well here. And what are the things which are majorly changing from the examination standpoint? So that's all we're going to take it up here. Also, we're going to acquaint you guys on some of the questions which are relating to the sections which you need to pass to become a CFE, the syllabus basically, and what sort of a question the exam review course or the examination will have. We will build upon your bit of understanding on bit of concept that what do you think and what it should be. So that's going to be a major agenda for today. Anyone has any question, please drop a chat. We'll be accessing the chat later on when we have question and answers round. Bear with me. Any questions you have in mid of the slide, I'm going to take you through. Just drop a message over the chat. I hope I'm audible to everyone, clearly audible to everyone. Just give a thumbs up. Great. Thank you so much. I'll be firstly introducing our authorized trainers in India, who are the only authorized trainers in India to teach you the CFE course by ACFE. So they are the authorized trainers by and licensed by ACFE to teach you, guide you, advise you, everything by legality and everything. They're the only authorized trainers who can guide you in the right manner. There'll be many people who will be having a lot of information about CFE and ACFE, but these guys are the right one when it comes to India territory. Since I'll take you through why I'm saying all this. Yes, our first trainer who got authorized trainer in India by ACFE is Colonel Dhavalgi. He's a certified fraud examiner himself, of course, and he's an executive director at Netrika Consulting. He's also a president at ACFE chapter Bangalore. He's also an author of a book called Deceit and Detection and Interrogation. Colonel Dhavalgi has more than 29 years relevant experience, both in corporate and government sector, handling and practicing different in different capacities in the field of forensic services from 2012 to 2019. Prior to this, he was in Army, and he's also a winner of President Gold Medal from Officers Training Academy. So he's the authorized trainer to teach you CFE course in India. Moving on to our second authorized trainer, who's also an authorized trainer to teach you the course in India, is Mr. Sanjay Kaushik. He's also an ARVP at ACES International. also Managing Director at Netrika Consulting. Mr. Kaushik has got more than 26 years of experience in the fraud and investigative field. He's also a proud recipient of prestigious Investigation Professional of the Year 2012 award. He won this award at the 7th Security Leadership Summit, and he's got many other awards and accolades to his name. Mr. Kaushik is also trained certified in Transport Asset Protection Association. He's been helping corporates in security industry for more than 26 years already. He is also sits on a board of Council of International Investigators. He's also a member of World Association of Detectives and FICCI Cascade. Moving on to our third authorized trainer in India, Mr. Surat Mukherjee. He's a qualified CA, cost accountant, and CFE. He is currently working as executive director at Dalmia Bharat Group. So, Mr. Surat joined Netrika as an authorized trainer for CFE course 2 months ago. He also has more than 25 years of experience in the industry, handling many investigative and forensic audit assignments. Also, over his professional career, he's been able to contribute sustainable results for organizations in the field of controllership, finance, risk assurance, and fraud investigations. He's also a regular contributor and speaker in various industry forums like ICAI, IIA, ICMA, ASSOCHAM, etc. Mr. Surat Mukherjee believes in interacting, learning through knowledge sharing. Moving on to the next step, where I'm going to take you through. Yes. Over to our authorized trainer, Colonel Dhavalgi, who will take you to the entire module here, why to become a CFE and what is the role a CFE plays in your careers. Over to you, sir. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I was on mute. Sorry.
Yes, sir.
Suruchi, thank you.
Thank you.
ACFA was established by Joseph J. Wells, who himself was CFE and a fraud accountant. He was he was an ex-FBI agent. It was established in 1988. He established in Austin. Of all the places in Austin and Texas, why he established, you must ask me a question. He belonged to Austin. That is the reason that he established in Austin. There are 160 countries which are ACFE members. They have investigated more than 20 million cases, which are criminal, civil, and white-collar crimes. There are more than 85,000 members. The ACFE is inspiring public confidence in integrity, objectivity with the profession. As far as the topics are concerned, if you want to become a CFE, you need to clear 4 papers independently: investigations, fraud prevention and detection, and law and financial transactions. Yeah, that's it. So you change the slide, Suruchi. Yeah. Now I will tell you what the percentage weightage is of. Let's take first financial transactions. Financial transactions in this: identity theft is 1 to 5. Healthcare fraud, insurance fraud is 1 to 5%. Rest is all is 5 to 10%. Rest all the subjects. And fraud prevention and deterrence in this understanding of what is very important is white collar crimes is 15 to 20%. Corporate governance and fraud risk assessment, fraud risk management is, and understanding criminal behavior. It is only 5 to 10%. Rest are all 10 to 15%. Next slide, please.
You see the slide, sir?
Yes, slide has changed.
Yes, so these are the subjects which we're taking you through. We explained you on the fraud prevention and financial transactions. And these are another two subjects which you need to cover: investigation law, and these are the modules which are being taken up in the subject as a part of the subject and syllabus. Colonel Dhawargi, can you hear me? I think there's some network issue.
Sorry, I was on mute.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah,
Again,
sir, please.
I was
Yeah.
on mute.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a lot, Suruchi, for that. Now, what is important is, interview theory is very important. Is 15 to 20% of the questions will come from this. Now, I will tell you 5 to 10% what is the weightage is being attached to data analysis and reporting tools, report writing, and cover operations. And the least is 1 to 5. Only one is collection of evidence. That is the last one, last topic. The rest of the topics will carry 5 to 10%. In the law paper, you will find only 2 or 3 to 5 is a 2 or overview of the legal system, and bankruptcy / insolvency frauds is 5 to 10%. Only one is a taxation fraud, 1 to 5%. Rest are all 10 to 15%. Irrespective, one thing you should note, irrespective of the weightages, I suggest you should be able to read everything, because the passing percentage is very high. It is 75%. Even if you get 74, you might fail. There is no grace marking in this. So please be aware to attach equal importance. That is the suggestion which I can give you. Thanks, Suruchi.
Absolutely, absolutely. So these are the basic modules in the syllabus, because what we are showing you here, these are the sections, and this is the syllabus which you need to cover and the modules related to it. Because before you decide to take a CFA exam, you must know that what are the subjects you're going to take to become a CFA, and what are going to be the modules. And this is going to be taught and conceptualized in a way that you will be covering all these modules. But yes, entire study where from the study material which we give you will be also has to be read as well. Yes. So we will be here also taking you through some sample prep questions, sample exam questions, which going to be these going to be look like of the questions which are going to come in your exam. We're going to take you through these sample questions. We're going to do a polling out here where you have to let us know what do you think of a correct answer, and we build upon your concept why you were wrong. If you were correct, very good, you already have your concepts clear. Or if you were wrong, we're going to take you through the answer and the concept behind it. Over to you, Surat sir. We're going to take the first module, investigations. So we're going to run a small poll here. We're going to put a question on the poll. Yes, sir. You can read the question, sir.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone, and thanks, Suruchi, for the introduction. I lost the presentation, Suruchi.
Okay, I'm so sorry. Give me one.
So basically, the exam is broken down into a 2-hour module. So the exams will be for 2 hours with 100 multiple choice questions, which will come in a sequential manner. Each question will have a dedicated time within which the candidate will have to answer it. Failing which, that question will disappear and the next question will come. So the questions will be in multiple choice options. So if we see out here in investigation,
can we see the poll or not?
No, I can't see the poll. No.
Yeah, so if you can't see the poll, you may drop your answer in the chat box,
I
please.
think that will be better.
Let's see. Yeah, please drop your answers to the chat box.
Again, the screen has gone, Suruchi.
Yeah, because somebody is trying to open up the poll, sir.
Okay.
Let me read questions for you and you will take up the answers, sir, please. You have the presentation. Let me, somebody is trying to set up the poll. I have the PPT. I will read the question for you. The question says, which of the following statements concerning public records is most accurate? The question is, which of the following statements concerning public records is most accurate? This question is from the investigation section. The answers, the options we have here is public records are valuable for obtaining background information. Yes, the poll is there. Please see the poll. I'm also reading the answers and the options. Public records are valuable for obtaining background information on individuals, or public records are useful for searching bank records, or public records are those maintained by public companies, or public records are the primary source of individual health information. You need to mark what you think is the right answer according to you. Please submit. We will wait for 30 seconds for your answers and we're going to touch upon the answer after that. Can everyone see the poll?
Yeah.
Yeah, please.
So for the benefit, public records are those records which are easily available in the public domain.
Yes. Thank you, sir.
Surat, you may like to give the percentage of people who have gone wrong and who have answered right.
Yeah,
That
yeah,
might
yeah.
be helpful.
We'll see it
Let's
here. We'll
see.
see it here,
Yeah,
sir.
yeah,
We'll
we'll
see it
see.
here.
I think you will be also able to see the early
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
once we complete it.
Yeah, so we'll be closing the poll now. I hope people have been able to submit their answers. Can I have the answer, please, and the percentage? So 64% thinks that's option 1 and 27 think they've not answered. Okay. The few people only think a B, C, D is the answer. Okay, over to you.
So A is the right answer because these public records are on information which are in the public domain, and if there is any information like health and other information which are bound by privacy laws, they're not in the public domain, so they can't be used without proper authorization of the individual or order from a relevant court authorities. So
Thank
I
you.
think
Thank
most
you
of
so
the
much.
people got it right. So we have the right skill sets available in the room.
Yes, yes. Great,
Suruchi.
great. Yes. Sir. So moving on to the next question from financial transactions and fraud schemes. We'll have the question over the poll.
We have the poll open. You can start answering.
Yes, we can. The question says, which of the following is not a red flag of a fraudulent credit and transaction?
This question becomes all the more important during this period of lockdown.
Absolutely. Just full screen the slide, please. So first question, move to the question, please. Move to the question. This is Closing the poll. We'll come back with the answer now. Can I have the answer?
We're going to get the results of the poll.
Yes, yes.
Yes. So again, I think close to 50% have chosen the right option.
Yeah,
Which
the
is
correct,
B.
yeah, the correct answer is B. Absolutely. Can I have your thoughts on this, Surata?
Yeah, it is because if you look at the other options, when the customer is not able to provide a photo identification, or if there's a new credit card and the customer immediately wants to buy too many things with the credit card at one go, or whether the customer insists on taking the large item home even when a delivery is included, which means that the customer wants to hide his identity, doesn't want to let anybody know where he stays or where the material is getting delivered. But when a customer buys a small number of expensive items at one time, it can be a normal process of purchasing with a credit card, which we may also do when we get a card. So it is important that we eliminate the other options and see that they are actually highlighting mentality of a fraudster, and we choose the uh, right answer in that sequence.
Great, sir. Thank you so much. Anyone who's not chosen the correct answer, I hope you got your answer why we should choose option B. Moving on to another question, we're going to take up the question from the other section, fraud detection and fraud prevention. Can I have the question, the poll? Yes, please. The question is over to you in the poll. In general, a corporation cannot be held vicariously liable for the acts of an employee unless the employee acted for the ostensible purpose of benefiting the corporation. Is it true or a false statement? The question is there on the slide as well, also on the poll. Please submit your answers on the poll if you're able to see the poll. We're closing the poll now. And let's see who has been able to answer correctly. Answer to this question is answer A. It's true. Can I have the poll results? Okay, so it's an
50-50.
equivalent, yeah, it's an equivalent understanding of the audience here. I would like Suraj sir to develop certain understanding over here why it shouldn't be false.
Yeah.
Can
So
yeah.
corporations and a company can be held liable for criminal acts of their employee if those acts are done in the normal course of business and in scope of their employment, and for the ostensible purpose of benefiting the corporation. So when an employee walks in with the ID card and the authorization of the employer, the customer is supposed to obviously think that he is working in the true intent. So if he acts, if an employee's acts are, it's generally considered to be in course of the employment. And in case he doesn't do it, still the organization will have a responsibility. could be held liable for something an employee does on its behalf, and even if the employee is not authorized to perform that act, because he is coming as a representative of the organization, as long as he works within the official course of business. So if I'm coming to sell you an insurance policy and I do a fraud around this, organization will be liable. But if I'm coming with an insurance company ID and I start selling a car to you, then I'm not working in the right interest of the organization. It may be my side business. So in that case, the company will be protected. But as long as he's doing a business, but he comes and mis-sells the product, in that case also, the organization will be liable.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Moving on to our last section, we're going to take up one more sample prep question from the law section. Can I have the poll and the question on the poll, please?
The poll is open.
Over to you, audience. This is the question where which is related to the law section. What do you think? It should be true or false? Please submit your answers. We shall be closing the poll another 5 more seconds. Please submit your answer. Why do you think it should be a true or a false? Can I have the answer, please, and the poll results? Can we have the results of the poll? Okay, this looks like a problem. Over to you, Surat, sir.
Yeah, because actually, the FCPA, while the FCPA prohibits bribes to foreign officials for business purposes, but sadly, it does not prohibit all payments to foreign official. It contains an explicit exemption for certain type of payments, which is known as grease payments or facilitating payments. It is made to expedite or secure performance of a routine governmental action by a foreign official, political party, or a party's official that relates to the performance of that party's ordinary and routine functions. For an example, the payment of a foreign corporation fee that is statutorily required in a country in order to do business in that country would fall under this exemption and would not be considered as a violation of FCPA. UK Bribery Act is much tougher. UK Bribery Act doesn't allow this, but FCPA does allow this. So it's a classic distinction between these two acts.
Just
Thank
add,
you. Yes, I would
this,
like you to
Suruchi.
add. Yes, sir, I would like you to add as well on the prep question we taken up today.
Thanks.
From your experience, sir. Thank you so much. Over to you.
Yeah. Thanks, Suruchi. See, we will tell you exactly what is grease payment. Possibly FCPA is the only act which will permit you to give grease payment. Grease payment is one which does not influence what is contained in the file. He might move at you giving it 10 rupees or 100 rupees to a chaprasi to move the file faster or keep your file on the top. As long as he does not influence the decision, the grease payment is permitted in FCPA. It is not even permitted in India. In PCA, under Prevention of Corruption Act. Yes, Surat is very right. It is not permitted in UK Bribery Act as well. Possibly this is the only act in the world over which is permitted. Grease payment is permitted. So you might have got confused, but this is the clarification.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. So this was the way to just give you a bit of an idea that what sort of a questions and what kind of language ACFE tries to question you on. We're going to teach you the thorough subjects, also prepare you on the examination review, how you should navigate the exams, basically, because here most important thing for CFE is having your concepts clear. What they want to test is that do you know the concept from the 360 degree or not? They might put a question in different language, as in, the way they put it, they're going to touch and test upon your concepts, but these can be put into different language altogether, but the concept remains same. That's what we're going to teach you. We're going to teach you in a very concise manner, which are prepared. The content is prepared on the level of examination. And it also involves many question and answer, which are there, the sample question and answer, which are there, which are going to be covered during this course, which is going to take you through the CFE. Over to you, to our authorized trainers, also why one should become a CFE. So I have two most prominent speakers today with me who are going to let you know from the different industry perspective why this is one part of it, that if you want to become a CFE, how you can become a CFE in the fastest possible manner by having a session or an instructor-led class with Netrika. But why you should become a CFE, that also a question which comes to many people's mind, that this is what I want to know, what are my career advances and prospects if I become a CFE. I request Colonel Dhavalgi to put your guidance and advice over here on the slide, why one should become a CFE.
Thank you, Suruchi. See, I was sitting once in Heathrow Airport in London, and an Australian got into a discussion with me, and he was, his flight was also delayed. So he was discussing with me in the launch. Oh, what are you doing for your earning? I said, I'm a CFE. Oh, he said, you must be earning a lot. I said, I'm an Indian. But believe me, even in India, compared to my peers who are non-CFEs, I've been one of those lucky guys who has been a CFE. And served in 2 Big Fours. What I am, only because I am a CFE. It is a gold standard certification. It is recognized world over. And CFE is looked upon as an expert. You can give your expert advice. Like lawyers, people will ask you for your advice. They won't give you a shut up call. Okay. So you should be able to get a CFE certification. It will help you to increase your world over. It has been 34% compared to non-CFEs. 34% increase in salaries. This is a survey which was conducted by ACFE. There's an international certification. It is a gold standard certification. It is recognized world over. It is not necessary that it is recognized only in India. You can work in only India. You can work abroad as well. Some of the companies advertise saying that only CFEs are required, and some of the companies do not advertise, but preference is always given to the CFE. And in years to come, maybe 1 decade down the line, you will find a CFE as compulsory requirement like the lawyers.
Absolutely.
So in all
Absolutely.
the industries, I've seen when I started my career, HR was considered to be a cost center. Now it has turned to be a profit center. So will be the CFE requirement. When I started my career, there were only 34 CFEs in India. And there was nothing like this, which was giving a prep course. I would have been too happy to take on this. Instead of reading 2,000 pages or 2,000 pages for 6 months and doing my job as well. Okay.
Thank you.
Uh,
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you, sir. Surat, you can add yourself.
Yeah. No, so
investment.
absolutely bang on, Dolgi sir, and it's absolutely even in the industry today. Once you have a CFE and you do an investigation for your organization, also, you are super qualified to do the investigation, and even when you present that in the board, your CFE qualification makes you credible and makes you acceptable. Nobody can say that. With what qualification or with what knowledge you are doing the investigation. So along with the business knowledge and along with the relevant industry expertise, you also add this qualification, which allows one to actually go ahead and complete an investigation in the respective domain. Even as rightly mentioned, even for any forensic job in a big four or in any multinational and even globally, CFE is a coveted degree. One who has it and one who doesn't will never be put on the same pedestal. So once you augment your present experience with this degree stamp, or vice versa, you get the degree and you build on your experience. Either way, you are a gainer all the way. So it's very important that this kind of certification, once you done, and you then also go through the continuous learning process of the CFA Institute's newsletter, case studies, conferences, and documents. Because it's a lifelong learning. It's not about one degree now and here. It is about practicing it, living it, and being in touch with the profession, which actually uplifts. So ACFE is a great organization which with great library of fraud cases and case studies, white papers. They bring out the annual survey also each year. So it's a very, very lively and very, very vibrant association, so which is very important. So I strongly recommend that lots of professionals who actually want to make a career in audit, risk management, and forensics and investigation should do it as quickly as possible.
Yes, absolutely. The certificate and the credential is one of the most marketable credential today we have in the industry, of course. That's the reason we start our understanding to you is that why you should be becoming a CFE. How you will become that we'll learn through, but yes, why you should become a CFE at the first floor. Moving on to the next slide. This is also a very essential part when it comes to I want to become a CFE, or am I planning to become a CFE? What is you must as in clear the eligibility criteria. So most of you may not be aware of the fact that there are certain qualifying points which is there at ACFE, which allows you to even apply for the course. So you must have these qualifying 50 points to your credit to even apply for the CFE course. So any one of you have any doubts, we will send you a link to check your self eligibility, where you can self check are you eligible or not. It's based upon a point system basically. So all candidates certified by exam must have minimum of 50 qualifying points and 2 full years of professional experience, either directly or indirectly related to fraud. There are over 50 sections they have provided where you can check that if you are in that bracket, your experience in that bracket, you are eligible for sure. The experience is eligible for sure. So these are categories basically. The major categories here, which has the subcategories also, is accounting, auditing, criminology, then investigation, loss prevention, law enforcement, or legal experience relates to fraud. So there are many categories and subcategories which will allow you to see if you are qualifying or not. It's a very self-explanatory form where you will punch in your details and you get to know if you are qualified. The form looks like this. We will also send you a link where you can assess yourself and see if you are acquiring the right set of points or not before you put on your questions to us, that how can you become a CFE with Netrika or without Netrika. We are there to guide you in every aspect. But yes, first you must check your points. So this is a point system. I will hold for 1 minute on this slide. Somebody wants to read out and understand what all is required, because it's a very common question which comes to us that, I'm doing this, I have earned this, or I have done this education, I have this degree or this experience, am I eligible? So explaining over on the call, it's a little difficult. That's why this form is there, where you can check and self-assess yourself. So there are points which gets add up, and then you see if you are obtaining those 50 points or not. In case we've also got, I would like to give you an example here. We have many prospects or the candidates or delegates who would like to do it, but are they at the starting point of their careers and they have the adequate education qualification to them, but not the experience. They would like to know that can they sit for the class, or can they sit for the exam or not. The answer is yes, you can sit, but you can pass the exam. You will have your results as well at hand, which will declare that you have passed all the sections. But you have become a CFE, that will not be declared till the time you complete that 2 years of experience, relevant experience, and submit that document to ACFE. Yes, you can always show this credential to the companies you are preparing for applying to, that have cleared all the 4 exams, but I would like to attain the career. This also is valid for many organizations. But of course, the first preference is given to the one who has the relevant experience and have become the CFE by qualifying 50 points. Yeah. So moving on to the next slide, I request Karan Dhavalgi to take up this.
Thanks, Suruchi. We will be conducting 4 days classes. It is going to be on weekends. You will not be disturbed by any official work. And Suruchi is thinking of starting the class depending on the number of participants, even in the evening after 6. So you can, basically we are not disturbing people with your office work. So each day you will be taught only one subject. At the end of the day, if you are attentive, you can give the exam. Only what we teach, it will come in the paper. Though examinations say a person who is setting the examination or setting the paper also does not know that what questions will come, because it is from a question bank. It is an objective type of question bank. So it is computer picked.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So it is, we didn't have this facility. When I became a CFE, I had to study a long list, almost about 2,000 pages. Here we are concising each and every subject into a slide. You need to master the concepts, and we will make you understand by giving local examples, the concepts. Don't mug up the answers to each question. You understand the concept. Any question coming in that particular area, you'll be able to answer, if you understand the concepts. So you should be conceptually clear. Now, 2 more attempts are allowed in till first week of July. Okay. Now, you should understand what is the difference between Prometric and proctored. Proctored and non-proctored. Where non-proctored is only permitted with Netrika. Otherwise, if you are registering yourself, the another option, then you have to study the entire 2000 pages, 2300 pages, I think. Now it has been increasing day by day. You are not only supposed to give, invest in web cameras. You are not supposed to, you are supposed to be supervised and all that. Though 75 seconds per each question will not give you the option of copying, but it will give you the comfort of your home and comfort of not being watched while writing the exam. So I would recommend that each of you take this exam by this, avail this opportunity. By first week of July, you should finish all your three chances. So you should register in such a way and take exams before July first week. There is a preparatory course as well, a model test question paper. You should be able to study the questions and give the preparatory test question. If you are able to score 85% in the preparatory test question paper, then you will be able to pass without any hassle. Otherwise, definitely we have not found people not passing more than, not taking more than 2 chances to pass the CFE exam. You will also get an opportunity to interact with many people who are potential CFEs later, nationally and internationally. The examination will be portion taught in the class only. Please understand that. No questions will come outside what we teach, outside of the questions what we teach. We will tell you conceptually, we'll clear all doubts. We will not proceed ahead if you stop us if you don't understand a particular concept. Money, though it might appear more when you convert it into rupees, it is worth spending. See, I can give you an example here. When I did my MBA in 2005, when I was taking my admission in IIT Kharagpur, I did not have money. I took a study loan. But it was worth spending that money because it got me a higher job. You have an iOS app as well as an Android app to download. A CFE flashcard app is available for studying. So on your mobile also you can download your prep course. We have found lawyers also failing in the law exam. If you think that you know,
Yes.
the CS know or the lawyers know the law, you will. So what is important is unlearning what you know and relearning. You should always remember, you should unlearn what you know and relearn afresh. Next slide, Suruchi.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I would like to just put some value here as well on this slide. So basically, this slide is, what we're trying to, cover up here is why live instructor-led class with Netrika. It is a gateway to become a CFE in 4 weeks coincidentally, or 4 days if you're taking a regular class, wherein we have got 2 different batches. One wants to do it in a regular batch, Monday to Thursday, or you want to take a Saturday, Sunday class over the weekends. We have 2 options available. Why you should be. So basically, this course is called Exam Review Course by ACFE, led by the instructors, the licensed instructors in India. So this is a 4-day dedicated learning on the sections which we took you through. And these slides are very concise slides which are fine-tuned to the examination basically. It's in a quick question and answer format where we build upon your concepts through live examples, which will build up your concepts and which will help you understand the question pretty well and attempt. And secondary, the why at the moment, which is the availability and a benefit which is available, anybody who's trying to do a self-prep course will be doing the examination on a live proctored version. Proctored means a camera version. Here till June end, the upcoming class which we have, which is starting on 6th of June and the 12th of June, you have a benefit of giving an exam on a non-proctored platform where there'll be no proctoring, no camera setting up is required. There's no technical support is required through that exam. You'll be free and working, giving the exam online at your home comfortably through via a non-proctored platform. As well as this also comes with complimentary 2 examination attempts. Very rightly said by the Valgi sir that we have not seen cases who are landing to the 3rd attempt. All our objective, all our preparation, all our advices and guidance is to get you through the examination the very first attempt, because we put you in a certain discipline and a process before you attempt for an exam. That discipline process and the live class which you're going to attend with the instructor to clarify your concepts, which lead you successful examination clearance. Even if we have seen people scoring 74 also, 1% margin, just because they got confused with certain answer, we help them, guide them, advise them again, and in the second attempt, taken the next very day, they pass it. That has been our obviously the credit. This is the basis of the entire instructor-led program led by Netrika, who is the only authorized training partner for ACF in India. Moving to the next slide, we will also take you through how many classes we've already done and what has been our passing percentage. Yes, over to you, Karan David.
Yeah, yes. Thank you, Suruchi. Except for 3, we have had very high percentage. And we have started this class. Netrika has been approved. The only organization which is authorized by ACFE is Netrika, and Netrika Consulting has been running this class from September 19 onwards. And passing percentage is 99% overall. You can well imagine there has been, see, why not 100%, you might ask me. See, 1% you can always, people do not have the time. They think they write, they don't do the unlearning, they apply their own background knowledge. That's how 1% is always there. So 99% passing mark is always helpful. It is a passing percentage is there within 30 days. You have 3 attempts. 1 attempt is on the first day or immediately after the class. We encourage you to take that exam because the reason is you will be fresh with what we teach. And do not write 2 exams a day. See, some of you might feel I'll write 2. You will not do it. You will pluck in 1. Because you will get confused. So you have a very high percentage and high chances of passing the exam if you appear online, if you take this chance of classes with Netrika. So Netrika became an approved trainer in 2019, and we are the only one in India. Please remember that we are the only one. Anyone offering training is not authorized. There may be some people who might say that they are authorized trainers. They are not authorized.
And I have also observed there are trainers, self-trainers basically. They have the study material. They're going to teach you, guide you. That's quite incorrect. They, first of all, only few people have the 2021 edition with them. Okay, and they will have a 2000-page prep course which you have to go through, and they're going to just teach you from their experience. They do not have the right set of authority to teach you in a manner so that you clear the exam. That you have to have it in mind. On this subject and the slide, I would like to mention one thing very, very important. We have an ongoing online weekend class which is happening. It started on May 16th. We already have 75% of the batch who have cleared their 3 subjects. They are through with the 3 subjects already. Only the last class is left, and 75% of the audience have passed their exam in the first attempt by through the guidance of the trainers and Netrika support team. Yes, Kanandavargi, would like to add something more here?
Yeah. See, if you attempt on the, if you are attentive in the class, no, I can give an example of one guy who was an ex-army officer who had not studied anything, but he never let me proceed to the next slide unless he had understood conceptually. And he passed all the papers in first attempt only. So there are a lot of people who pass in first attempt. Second attempt, you will get into that 99%.
Yes, 99%. 1% we keep it for people who get a little demotivated and leave the exam in the middle of the journey. And then we, of course, support them. Surat sir, would you like to put some advice here as well on your experience with the exam and people passing through the first attempt? What is the mantra of passing through the first attempt?
Yeah, I think, being attentive in the class, clearing the doubts, and also some of the people who I have seen really cracking exams well, they do a little bit of their self-study in terms of doing the assessment questions and the mock tests once or twice before coming to the exam, so that they know what are in before they come to the class, so that in the class they can clarify their doubts very easily and can be fully confident. Because once you, what we strongly recommend is that you complete the assessment questions, which is a set of anything between 400 to 500 questions once, and then you take the mock test, which is there at least couple of times. Once you do that, and if your concept is clear, then there is then it's easy to fall into this 99% category.
Absolutely, absolutely. So the entire guidance from support team at Netrika and the concepts which are very well clarified by the trainers at the classes, which will help you attain your cred, CFE cred in the fastest possible manner. That is the key. Moving on to the next, where we're going to, which we've covered mostly, that what we're going to change. We're going to tell you what are the major changes in CFE 2021, why you should start your CFE journey right now so that you complete your exams before the 10th of the July. And that's, we're going to ensure that you are a CFE within 30 days with your all attempts in place. Over to the Valgi sir to acquaint them on how, what is changing actually.
Thank you, Suruchi. CFE 2021 and major changes. Why to start CFE right now? It is very important because they have only one syllabi now. Previously, they had only 2 syllabus, one of the international standards and one for the US specific, because it was based in Austin. Now you are going to study the international syllabi. The second one is paying $100 for each paper that you are going to attempt after July. If you are going to attempt before all 3 chances, then you are not going to pay. You will pay $100, that is 7,400 rupees per, it is as per today's exchange rate, but you know, it might differ, but definitely it will not be less than 7,000 to 7,500. you will be paying per paper additional. Now, the second one is Prometric. It is going to change into Prometric. We are not going to have this luxury of not being supervised. You are going to be supervised. You are having the, you should, while I was touching about the, proctored and non-proctored, was Suruchi and me were touching version of a non-proctored and proctored version. This Prometric is an organization which conducts examination for IITs, IIMs. You will have to go to Prometric centers and give the exams. That is the difference. So we would encourage you to take this opportunity, and the last opportunity to study. We will tell you what to study, though we will be starting with the international syllabi, but examination pattern is not going to change till first week of July only. Please understand that. Okay. Thank you
so much. Thank you so much. Yes. Yeah. So you will be administered your examination on the Prometric system after the first week of July, and there'll be no additional attempt. This is something, which is for your benefit. In case you are planning, the time is now, so that you are saving on cost, also on an opportunity to have your additional examination attempts saved. This is what is changing. This is what we wanted to acquaint the audience here. Please beware of this entire announcement what we are making here, that till about 1st of July you are free to take a non-proctored exam. Also avail 2 complimentary attempts, as in the total 3 attempts to your examination if you want to appear for the CFE examination. Moving on to the last segment, where we're going to announce that, what are the batches announcement. This is also a very common question, how it is suiting my schedule or not. So we have 2 batches every month. So you can see we have got 2 batches back to back to safeguard you from the fact that it will be a non-proctored and a chargeable additional attempt. We have got Sunday batch also. We've got Saturday batch also, wherein you want to quick up and wind up your course, so that you have. So the whole idea is that you take up a class today on a Sunday, and from Sunday till about next Sunday you have time to self-prepare and go through the process that we tell you to review and practice and go through your concepts once again and take up your attempts. So, and we've seen the tremendous success of people passing by adopting these methods. And the first week, 1 exam done, it's done and dusted. You move on to the next subject, learn that through the trainers in the class, clarify your concepts, read through your, do a free reading to the subject. You're going to sit for the next week. Understand through the trainer if you have any doubts or anything, and then you appear for the exam. In case your time doesn't and schedule doesn't permit, of course, we have sessions every month running out, and we will also have a strategy where you guys will be going through a proctored platform and only with 1 attempt. The batch is also available in July. We start July 11th, a new batch, which will be a Sunday or a Saturday batch again. You can, we will, of course, reach out to everyone who joined here and understand if you have any queries regarding this is not. Yeah. Very, very important slide for everyone who would like to know the costing part, basically. The cost involved to enroll for the CFE course. So a very common question which I get is, am I supposed to pay something additional than this, or what? This is the cost which is mentioned here. We have reduced the cost tremendously when we started our virtual sessions, which is including everything here which you will be getting in the prep course, also alongside with the live trainings which are rendered by Netrika. So you will become a CFE associate membership in the course when you enroll. So it's an end-to-end inclusion and completion when you're enrolling yourself at Netrika's ACFE review course. So you will be accessing the entire prep course and international edition, entire course material, which is also a brief manner course material as well, also a detailed manner where you would like to refer to for your concepts. This will also include prep flashcard app, which we spoke about. This course will also give you complimentary 20 CPs once you complete the course with us, all the 4 sections. Then the examination fee for all 3 attempts is included. And this is only included till about first week of July, precisely 10th of July. You have to complete all your exam and the entire free training classes, the live classes. If you compare the course fee here with other countries, we are comparatively, of course, very competitive at the pricing, almost half than what other countries are charging and rendering you the same set of training. The trainings doesn't change, the format doesn't change. The trainers, all the trainers who are teaching in other territories are authorized by ACFE USA, and they are following the same set of standards and the global standards and the set of discipline and the process. Yes, moving on to the also I would take a little opportunity here to introduce you to our very recent CFEs who've become CFEs with Netrika. And is it my voice is not audible? I got a message.
You are audible. You are audible.
Okay, please check your audio, please. Whosoever has complained here that he's not able to hear me, please check your audio settings. So yes, here I am calling out my very dear delegates who had attended our CFE course very recently and been able to pass all their exam in first attempt. Would like to hear their experience as well and would like them to guide the audience to why they should take up CFE as a course and why Netrika can be an option for them if they are looking forward to do a CFE in the fastest possible manner. I would request Mr. Gangula Jagdish Babu, who is the Chief Manager at Canara Bank. I would like to welcome him on the panel. He very recently completed his course with all first attempt, clearing all the exams in first attempt. Over to you, Mr. Jagdish. Can you hear us?
I saw Jagdish on the on this webinar as well.
Yes. Can you unmute? Please help him unmute himself if there is no setting issue there. Mr. Jagdish, I also saw him. Till the time Mr. Jagdish is not available, I would like to move myself to Lieutenant Colonel Dharamveer Mahecha, who's also a very dear acquaintance as well in the industry. Dharamveer sir, over to you if you're available to speak few things today. Can you help unmute people? Yeah.
I'm Jagdish speaking.
Yeah,
Okay,
Jagdish.
yes. We will carry on with Mr. Jagdish. Yes. Please, Mr. Jagdish, over to you.
Yeah, good evening to all. Good evening, Netrika team and all the aspirants. In fact, I would like to brief my success story to all the this.
Sir, can you be a little bit louder? We are not able to hear you properly. Just a bit louder.
Hello, is this okay?
Yes.
Yeah, I would like to brief my success story to all the participants of this webinar. I was acting as a compliance officer for an exchange house in Dubai since 2016. I have my certified anti-money laundering specialist as well.
Mr. Jagdish, can I request you to kindly come closer to the system? Your voice is breaking.
Hello.
Yeah.
I'm a certified anti-money laundering specialist for ACAMS. I was in Dubai in 2019. During that time, what has happened, this ACFE has become very popular. Knowing about this popularity, I also thought of taking this course in 2019. I became an associate member as well. During that time, what has happened? Like Netrika, there are Open Thinking Academy was there in Dubai, which was helping the people in getting this ACFE certification. But it was very costly. It's not like this. It was they were charging around $4,000, and at that time I thought why I should go with this $4,000. So let me go with my self-paced learning, and I will complete this ACFE. For the last 2 years, I am trying to read this course, but I'm not getting confidence. Later on, I moved to India. Once I moved to India, I met Netrika. Then the amount of confidence they given to me was really appreciable. I spoke to Madam Surichi. She has given me a lot of confidence. Then I thought I will take this exam through Netrika. And when I started reading, they have given me a lot of suggestions how to read and other things. I started reading the preparatory course and other things. Once I attended the class was so good that all the concepts just went into my head. And I thought class concluded at 5 o'clock, and 5:15, I gave my first exam. My first exam I gave at 5:15. And all the things, when the questions were coming, I was feeling like that the instructor is giving me the answers. That was the effectiveness of the class. So, and having that additional confidence of 2 more attempts, I thought I will take the exams immediately after class. So this was having joined the Netrika is a very good experience for me, and I thank the instructors as well as the team, Netrika team, who has guided me very well. And my suggestion to the aspirants is take this chance, because you're having this complementary attempts, 2 more extra attempts, which gives you more confidence to go for the exams. If possible, you try to tell all your friends also to join and take this advantage. And the team is very good, fantastic. They gives us a lot of confidence. They are available 24/7. Whenever we have a doubt, we can contact anybody. They will give us good guidance and clarifications. This is from my side.
Thank you thank you so much, Jagdish. So thank you so much for your kind words. The preparation efforts and everything is yours. We are just the guiding body here. Thank you so much.
One more thing that I just want to add.
Yes, sir.
Flashcard app is there on mobile. I think you are providing a flashcard app.
Yes,
mobile.
yes, it's there.
So that is a very good app. All what I used to do every day before going to sleep, just I have a habit of surfing the mobile. So I used to use these flashcard apps. So I used to read before going to sleep. These also helped a lot. All aspirants should use this app as well.
Yes, they should. It acquaint you with the kind of questions it comes and the options which are being asked. It gives you a practice material basically through this app. Right. Thank you, Mr. Babu. It's really nice to have you here today and listening to your thoughts and your experience. Thank you so much. Moving on to Colonel Mahecha. Are you there, sir? Can you speak
Yeah.
now?
Can you hear me?
Yes,
Yeah,
very
yeah.
much, sir. Over to you, sir. Over to you.
Yeah, thanks, Suruchi.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. My name is Colonel Dharamveer, and I undertook this CFE challenge through Netrika a couple of months back. I just need to, I want to share 2 parts of this particular journey. One is the study part, and one is the facilitation part, right? So I found that considering the way we are busy with our daily work, Netrika is a good option to try and clear your CFE. The importance of CFE is known to all of you. As far as facilitation goes, they have a team of people who are available round the clock. You send them a WhatsApp, you get a response. Whatever doubts you have, they clarify it to you. And more importantly, they tell you how to approach the exam and the portal. How to first go for the, study the body of knowledge, then the assessment paper, then the mock exam, and then the final exam, etc. So that journey or the method of teaching or the structure part is explained by them very nicely, which helps you to navigate through all the different subjects, and at the same time, helps you in managing your time, because that is very critical for most of us as we are working. So I think that is one part. The second part is, of course, the teaching itself. I mean, they have this 1 day sessions for each subject. And like Mr. Babu said, I did the same thing. I attended the session during the day and I appeared for the exam in the evening. All 4 exams the same day, and I was able to clear them. Tips to clear the exam, really, I don't know. I mean, all I did was, what I followed was, one day I studied the document that they have shared, just the highlights of that particular subject. I studied that for 1 day. The second day, I do the assessment exams. I keep repeating the exam till the time I have not cleared and I have not got all the answers right. Once I got that, I appeared for 1 mock test the same day, so that it's a kind of a revision. Then on the third day, I went for the second subject. Fourth day, I appeared for the mock exam. Fifth day is the session, actual session by the by whosoever is, whether it's called Dabalgi or whether it's Sanjay or whosoever is going to take the class. After attending the class, I appeared for 1 more mock test. Once I get above 90, I appear for the final exam. This is how I followed the process. It may work for some, it may not work for some people, I can't say, but I found this a good way that, you study a little bit. I know we have little time, but you study a little bit, whatever you can, then finish all your assessment paper, get all your answers right, give 1 mock exam, come in for the session. So once you have done this and you come in for the session, you are like 80% prepared, right? In the session, they are going to tell you the important parts which are likely to come in the exam. Then you appear for 1 more mock exam, which gives you additional confidence. And if you have scored above 90, you straight away go for the final exam. It's all,
Absolutely.
there's no subjective thing. So I think this is the way I followed. And if some of you want, you can follow the same process. Otherwise, the way they teach is also very, very systematic, and I think it would be a good idea to, to appear for this exam through Netrika. Even I had a few doubts in my mind, to be honest, considering the cost and all. But that's when you look at the cost, people charge for other courses like CBCP and all, you'll realize this is much less. And if you guys join, even if you don't join, whosoever is appearing for the CFE, I wish you all the very best for your exams.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Colonel Dhanveer. Thank you so much. So basically, what we're trying to learn here is that how are we putting, discipline, or maybe, guiding you through the entire journey, so that you prepare your mind and come prepared with everything. So all of these guidance, what you need to do before the class and after the class, before attempting for the examination, final examination, what all you need to do. Every person I have experienced is different from one. So we need to analyze your marks in case you're not able to clear the exam in the first attempt. This is something, we give you as a support that, yeah, how many marks have you received? Okay, we analyze that where you could have gone wrong. So the entire support team is also trained in a manner that where they're guiding you, helping in the right path, that you are closer to your examination. Yeah, moving on to very, very small, taking 1 more minute, and any important question, people can unmute themselves and ask me. I'll also read up through the chat and we'll clarify your doubts right here. In case you're not able to take up your question, we're going to come back to you over a call and understand. Yes, any questions?
Yeah, hi.
Do we require just one. Mr. Ravi had asked me if he's there. Do we require to have accountancy? No, it's not a requirement. It's a qualifying criteria. It's not a requirement at all. If you are qualifying to any of other subcategory as well, it's fine. It's not mandatory. Nothing is mandatory.
Guruji, can I just add? I'm
Sir.
teaching you people I am not a CA. I am not an accountant, but I am a CFE.
Yes,
So
yes. So
this
yes,
is a live example I am giving you.
exactly. So one question is this, you maybe I would like Surat sir to take this up. How it helps in promotion, salary increment.
It does.
Yeah,
See,
yeah.
people look up to you is
Yeah, I
as
want Surat
experts.
sir to answer this. He's got his team as well, certified through
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Netrika.
So, it really helps because, see, one is that confidence which you get after you do the course. So what you have been doing along with this, you really you add to your repertoire and you add to your confidence, and you will see that confidence reflected in your audience. That is very important. So it's almost like going into a, a certain mission with a gun and without a gun.
Right,
So
right.
you are equipped.
Yes, you are well equipped. Of course, this is something you've spent your time on,
And it's a
and you
global
have,
thing. The most
yeah, it's
important thing is
global.
it is recognized everywhere.
Recognize. It is the most important thing is recognize, and your bosses and your organizations are going to recognize, well
Right.
recognize this. If you have, because it's not a very easy exam. You're able to appear
Anybody
for
who
the
has
exam.
any plans to migrate to Australia, Canada, US, any place for job or for anything, this is a
Mm,
degree which they have in their belt.
of course, and
It's very easy.
it's not a tough, it's not a very easy examination as well. If you've been able to go through it, they treat you as somebody who's been able to study through and understand the entire spheres of the entire certification now, and can help the entire team to transition better. This is a question for Davargi sir. I would like you to take it up. From fraud being of vast subject, interested to know the applicability of the same to a particular industry. He's from from a banking industry and with domain expertise into credit and risk.
See, banking industry, there is no problem. I, as a consultant, I will give you my perspective, but I would definitely request Surat to add since he's serving in one of the financial industries. Now, as a consultant, I feel that it will, no, you don't have to be a AML qualified guy. We teach you AML as part of this. So you don't have to be CAM certified. I'm not CAM certified, but I've done a lot of AML cases for the banks. I've worked for banks. It helps where to dig. Your employees create fraud. They are common in industry. Okay.
Correct.
Yes.
All frauds are common in industry. Whether there is banking industry or manufacturing industry, all frauds are different. Now, only the modus operandi is different. The fraud schemes are the same.
Correct.
So
Absolutely.
please understand you can apply even in banking industry as well.
And absolutely.
Yeah, Surat, you would like to add?
No. So it's absolutely, the schemes have and the psychology of the fraudster is common. So they will try and find out a loophole in the existing system and try to rig it for their personal benefit. So where there is a well, they will take water. Where there is a vault, they will take money. Where there is a asset, they will take the asset, so on and so forth. So once you understand that psyche of the fraudster and you understand the methodologies, then this can cut across any industry.
Understand. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for highlighting the gist here. I would like to answer one question. Are you giving the preparatory course if someone unable to appear in June should appear in under surveillance exam along with $100? Yes, of course. The course is end-to-end inclusive of everything, all study materials, short and large, and all the flashcard app, end-to-end. The entire edition is included in this. Yes, if you're not able to do it, I would like to clarify here, as a part of Netrika's course member, if you are taking up a course through Netrika, you don't have to pay $100 for your additional exam. It's $50. So if you're taking up a self-rep course, it is $100. Again, a cost center for you. again an expense, an extra expense. If you're taking a course under you and by any chance you're not able to do the June course, July course, everything remains same. The efforts here with Netrika will remain same, that we are making the right effort for you to clear the exam in first attempt. But if I look at the expense, yeah, every additional attempt for any subject will cost you $50 additional. Yes. How will it help for practicing CA for getting assignment internationally? Suraj sir, over to you.
Absolutely not an issue. Being a CA means that you will have a little bit of edge, definitely, because accounting concepts, auditing concepts, law, many of these things, investigation, many of things would be already part of the CA curriculum. So it's a great added advantage. That's all what I can say. So you should pass in very first attempt itself.
We have 70% of the CAs actually in the class every
Yeah,
time
yeah.
that we have a class. Yes,
Suraj,
so yes,
thanks a
we will
lot.
connect you to them as well. We'll connect you to them as well, how it's helping them to have international projects. It will be, of course, alongside with all of that, what you're mentioning here, you also get to have international, it's not as in the networking with many other participants who are working in international companies, international bank, working in India. So you get that experience as well firsthand. And you examination fee, somebody is asking. So examination fee, preparation fee, instructor fee, every fee is included right here. The entire fee inclusive of everything. You don't have to pay anything additional if you are completing your exams in June. I'm yet, the another question here is, I'm yet to become an associate member. Would it be possible for me to register? So that's not a mandatory. We've never said that you have to be a member. We are making you a member. The membership is complimentary coming with your course right with us. Yes, you need to continue with your membership once you become a CFE. You have to be a live member, an active member to a CFE once you attain your CFE course. So that this comes to an end. I think we don't have more questions on this. We've been tried to take up all the questions relating to the course structure, the understanding of the sections and the industry as well. The team will get in touch with you for sure individually as well to understand if you have more queries. We'll be happy to connect you one-on-one basis to the trainers as well if required. I thank everyone who could join us today and for your patience today, learning through what is there in the CFE course with Netrika. I wish everyone of you good health and good career as well ahead. And best of luck to everyone who are planning to prepare for CFE. We we always are there to guide you through whatever questions you have. Look forward to touching base with each one of you separately and understanding your concerns. Any questions, we'll take it up offline. I thank my co-speakers today. Thank you, Colonel Davalgi, and thank you, Mr. Mukherjee, for joining in today and sharing your
Thank you.
insights and advices. Thank you. I look forward to speaking to you. The team look forward to speak to you all individually. I thank everyone again who could join us today. Thank you. Please stay safe and keep well. Yeah. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.